The gap growing. The gap is growing. 12 seconds. 12 seconds.
Where's the green jersey of Matthew Brennan? Brennan looking for the gap, but he can't find it. Danny Van Poppel's going to get this, but definitely some complaints there from Matthew Brennan.
I think it's the right decision, but it's not the way you want to win. He was the strongest one, but yeah, if he just kept the line, I think he would have won either way.
Hello and welcome to highlights of Day 5, Stage 4 of the 40th birthday edition of the Lidl Deutschland Tour. This is how things were set after the stage into Kassel and ready for the start in Halle. Moving quite a lot further eastward into Saxony-Anhalt for the final stage. A very flat one, which should finish in a sprint finish. Søren Vanskov in the blue jersey looking to bring it home when they get to the river in Magdeburg. Once again, a very, very late bonification sprint point on the second of those 2 laps around Magdeburg. One man took off by himself though, from the off. Brandon McNulty going solo. And I can tell you, he stayed out there for just over 100 kilometres. The reason I can tell you that now is because behind him there was a battle for the King of the Mountains, the only King of the Mountains point of the day. And it was won, of course, by Brandon McNulty, but Enzo Lainsey took the points behind him and Vincent Dawn took 1 point, meaning Enzo Lainsey sewed up the King of the Mountains jersey on that one King of the Mountains point after only 16 kilometres. What you're watching right now, though, is a modest head crosswind that was used by riders and teams who fancied stirring it up. UAE Team Emirates using, well, Brandon McNulty when he came back in. That was the moment of capture, by the way, after over 100 kilometres in the lead. It carried on causing problems, that crosswind. Big issue for Steven Kruijswijk, taking himself out on the grass and going over the bars. He would finish, don't worry about him, but it meant there was one man down for Matthew Brennan's protection and lead-out train. Søren Vanskov, seemingly after a while, looking after himself in the blue jersey and ensuring he took the first of those intermediate sprint points to add more green jersey points to the competition he already led. It was a stunningly beautiful day as we rode through Anhalt, Saxony, and saw some new places, some new rivers. Very flat and fast terrain though. The wind was still causing problems, and I have to tell you now, it wasn't the last of the crashes we saw either. Pretty reduced bunch after all of the crosswind action, and attacks were coming left, right and centre too. Understandably, it was the German champion, former German champion, Niels Pollitt going on the attack late on, but his attack turned into long lead out as we were coming back in for the second lap. Fabio van den Bossche giving it a go. And in the closing stages, the attacks just kept coming. It was so certain there would be a sprint between Jonathan Milan and Matthew Brennan that indeed other riders wanted to make sure they could get ahead before that started. However, it was Uno X Mobility who led into the line for the final time, taking out those points as they came across the finish line as well. That was the intermediate sprint point for the green jersey points. Jacopo Mosca leading across there that time as well. Then came the next of the sprint points for the bonification seconds. Riley Sheehan with a really impressive ride to take 3 seconds in that white Best Young Riders jersey that he was looking after for Søren Vanskov. And then this happened. Alexander Kristoff on the outside of the bunch coming down, bringing down others with him as well.
This is the final kilometre, the final stage of this year's Lidl Deutschland Tour. Who's going to get it? It looks like Danny Van Poppel has got the back wheel of one teammate. He's got one teammate there, and I think it might be Laurens Pithy. Laurens Pithy, the ideal man to bring him through, and he's trying to up the outside. They do not want Visma Leiter bike to be able to lead out Matthew Brennan perfectly. Soudal Quickstep doing what they can. It might be for Rakanye, who had a fantastic sprint yesterday. Jonathan Milan moving up the outside. He's pocket shoulders with, oh my goodness, Danny Van Poppel is down. So late on, Danny Van Poppel after the relegation yesterday, he's gone down. He was up against the outside of Jonathan Milan, and he shakes his head. He's gone just like that. Jonathan Milan now hanging on to the back wheel. We've started. It's Wout van Aert. Wout van Aert leads out. Laurens Pithy ready to go. Here we go. It's a replay of stage 1. Jonathan Milan on the right. Matthew Brennan on the left. Who's going to get it? Matthew Brennan gets another stage win and yet another scalp in Jonathan Milan for the second time in a week. Some people said it might have been lucky.
We came in with the plan and we were really motivated to kind of do well today, and I think when you kind of have that ambition in the team and everyone really fights for it, it really creates that sense of we want to win. So really happy to kind of finish it off for everyone today.
Visma Lease a Bike celebrating with Matthew Brennan and the youngsters, younger than him, supporting him this week remarkably. There it was ahead of Søren Varnskov and Jonathan Milan.
Usually it's a big team win like this one. You have your mates working together for several days for you to win, and they are backing you up and believing you. So it's also a great team win.
Søren Varnskov taking the win in 16.5 hours of hard work. Jonathan Narvaez in second, Riley Sheehan finishing off in third. Jonathan Milan riding off into the distance with no stage win, but he'll be back.